Welcome to the Deadlifts and Pizza podcast, where we discuss no BS fitness and nutrition.
We're your hosts. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jamie.
Let's get into it.
So, I am elite.
Oh, yeah. What?
Everything. I'm proud of myself, so I wanted to talk about this, but I thought it would be funny to talk about it in that way and say that I'm elite to start it. So we started boxing.
Okay.
And we found, I was doing Taekwondo, and then I've been doing a whole bunch of nothing during the transition. We knew we wanted to do boxing. And then it was like a couple days into being here in this house, we were walking up the street, like literally right around the corner from us, there's this Dollar General. And we went to the Dollar General, and next door is this boxing studio. And they have a sign out front that says like summer sessions or something. And it's one of those boxing studios you can't find on Google Maps. You're like, is it a business or is this like somebody's personal? Like it just, So Donovan walked in, and it's this little tiny place. They have a little ring, and it's just like a family. They do it as like their second job. They work during the day, and then they come in the evenings and they open up their gym, and they have the core group of people that come, and they do fights and all of these things. It's like this little rough kind of like, close to home kind of like space. So we started going to it and kind of getting to know the people. And I hadn't really done a workout yet. Joaquin did. It's kind of like mostly kids, but adults can join if they want. But Donovan was like the only adult. So it's kind of like hard to tell, like, should we just like jump in? But they were like encouraging us to. Can you hear her? Oh, there's a cat in our yard. Okay. So I went and did a workout with just the woman the other day. She started doing like in the morning, like classes. And it was the first time I'd done it. And it was good. But last night I joined in with the like entire group. And it's mainly, there's like 2 kids that are Joaquin's age. And then there's like teenagers, like teenage boys with their shirts off and like just covered in sweat. And then it's the husband and wife that kind of run it. And then they have like a baby that runs around. And then Donovan, and then me. I'm like, that's literally it. And some of the parents of the other kids are sitting around the room. So I felt a little awkward, like, should we join in? But the husband and wife team have been like, yeah, like the family, like, come on. And it's literally 2 hours, 6 to 8 p.m. every night. And they run through drills, and then they will run through like a workout scheme, and then they'll pull people to practice certain skills. So Joaquin has gone a couple times, and Donovan has gone a couple times. And Donovan has come home absolutely drenched in sweat. He's not used to doing a lot of cardio either. Especially with his job in Korea, he was very like, he would come home and strength train, but he wasn't doing cardio like at all. And so he is just like drenched in sweat. He's like, oh my gosh, my whole body hurts. I'm so sore. And my son, it's so funny because he's never been sore before. He's 9 years old, and he's never felt legit like soreness. And he woke up the morning after doing his first legit like boxing workout, trying to keep up with these like teenagers. He's like, Mommy, I can't move. Like my legs. And I'm like, where on your legs? He's like, everywhere, but the front mainly. And I'm like, those are your quads. And I'm like talking to him about like what's sore and why it's sore. And he's like, in my arms. And he's like, everywhere hurts, and my ankles. And then we signed him up for Spurs basketball camp. So he's doing these 2 things that he doesn't normally do at the same time. He literally skipped basketball camp yesterday because he was so sore from boxing. He was like, I can't run. And he was like, especially when I run backwards. And so I've been saying, all right, I'm going to join in now that you guys kind of have like a little bit of rhythm. I'm going to come because we were supposed to like do this as a family or whatever. So last night was the first time. And my son has been like, trust me, Mommy, you don't even know. You think Master Na with Taekwondo was hard. Like, you don't even know this. You're going to be so sore. You are going to like not be able to do it. And I was like, babe, like, I'm not trying to like brag, but I'm older than you and I am more fit. Like, I know that it will be hard. I'm not saying that, but I don't think it'll be as hard as you're making it sound like. I don't think, but it's going to be great. And so I went and I did it, and it was very challenging. It was a very challenging workout. But this morning he woke up and he gets up out of bed and he's like, oh, my arms. And he's like all sore all over again. He's like, Mommy, are you sore? And I was like, no, not really. And he's like, I don't understand. You must not have worked as hard as me then. I was like, no, I don't know, but it's hard to like have the conversation without sounding like but I did like turn it into like a conversation about novelty and, starting new things is always going to, I was like, you're going to adapt. Give it a week or 2 and you're not going to feel this way when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's not because you're elite. It's because you didn't work out. You didn't work as hard as they did. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
that's what it is. Well, it was funny because my husband was even saying, because we were doing things next to each other. So they do these like rotations. And now I get, remember when I told you about that 9 round that I went to?
Mm-hmm.
And they would do 3 minutes on and then a 30-second break and then 3 minutes. This was actually the same, but it's actual boxing. But they have a timer in there that goes for 3 minutes. And then there's a 30-second break and then it goes. So I guess that's like a
That would make
boxing
sense.
thing.
Like if you're, I don't know how long a boxing
A
round
round.
is.
Yeah.
So that would
Donovan
make
said
sense.
it's 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. What they were doing at the other one did not make sense.
Yeah. And they're not like, they'll say keep going for 3 minutes, but people take multiple breaks throughout. Like you'll go for a little while and then you kind of pull out, go get some water, come back. And then there's a 30-second break. So it's like a little it was like a little different, but there are like 3 rounds of things. So we would do like, it starts out with like shadow boxing. They do a warm up and then they do like shadow boxing. And then you're actually in the ring doing drills in the ring. And then you're punching the bag and hitting the bag, and they'll say like here's a combo to do, or like do 10 like medium power and then 4 full power and then 10 medium power, 4 full power, and they just they just tell you to go. And so I was intentionally trying to get my heart rate to like come up during those times, and then at the end we had to do 100 sit-ups and 100 push-ups, and that I would say was the hardest part. But they broke it up. So you did 25 sit-ups, 25 push-ups, and then like 5-second breather, and then 25 sit-ups, 25 push-ups. And you're doing it on a count with somebody like up, 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 like that. And I was proud of myself because I did the first 25 push-ups full, the second set of 25 full, and then the third set, I did half of them full before I went to my knees. So I was like 65 push-ups. So I was really proud of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I was next to my husband doing some of these, like on the bag, especially we were doing like 10, 10, 10, 10, and then 4 really powerful. And he would continuously take breaks. And I was just like going, going, going. And a couple times he looked over at me. He was like, you're really fit. Like you are really fit. And I was like, thank you. But one of the things he said, he was like, because you're barely sweating. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, first of all, that's different because some people are just heavy sweaters. The amount that I'm sweating, it doesn't really have anything to do with like our levels of effort.
Yeah.
But also I guess that you would hate it. There's no air conditioning in there. It's like no AC. They just have one of those big circular fans that just blows. Yeah. And it was like 100 degrees yesterday. It's hot.
I was thinking about that the other day because I used to work out in my garage and I didn't have air conditioning, and I used to still go out there every day, and it was like freaking bazillion. Now I'm like a baby. I'm like, I need the air conditioning because I'm so used to it now.
Yeah. It was as soon as you walk in there, you're like, I'm already sweating. I'm already like very moist.
Yeah.
And Donovan and Joaquin's shirts are like they're completely drenched. But I wear these like sweat wicking ones too.
Yeah.
Anyway. I felt good because I felt like my cardiovascular is definitely, because I was telling my son too, I was like, I didn't have this cardiovascular ability before I started Taekwondo. I was like, I really have that to thank for it.
That's what I was going to say. That probably made a big difference.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember when I would get home from basketball tryouts, like when it first started, after a while I get used to it and it doesn't do that. And that was like in middle school age. Like below that, I don't ever remember getting sore. I was always running around and doing stuff because it was rare for a kid to get sore. But when I did basketball practice, I would be so ridiculously sore where it was hard to move. And I remember like complaining to my mom and whatever. And she was just like not having it. She was like, stop being a baby, shut up, get up, and blah, blah, blah. Like she was so not like, compassionate.
Yeah.
She was like, stop being a baby. So maybe that's where I get it from. That's why I'm like,
so funny.
I'm like, yeah, that's my attitude.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Yeah. And then he's kind of talking smack on the way to camp this morning. He was like, Mommy, can you believe that some people in my basketball camp have been sore just from basketball? Like they're not even doing boxing at night too. I was like, well, again, like it's just the novelty when you go from like maybe doing basketball once a week to from 9 to 4 every day.
At that age, I didn't. Like I was cool. Like I had basketball camp when I was younger. Yeah, no, that was good.
Yeah, he doesn't get sore from like regular sports, but I think like holding your arms up with boxing and then the push-ups, Like, and he can't even really do a few solidly good push-ups. So he's
Yeah.
like and sit-ups, like he's never done hundreds. He's doing all 100 sit-ups.
Wow.
And holding your arms up, I think for him. And then they
Yeah.
do this exercise. So this was interesting. He was telling me, Mommy, can you tell me why they do this exercise? They have these weights, they have the barbells in the boxing gym, and they hold it out in front of them while they're standing, and they push it out like they're doing a bench press, but they go really fast out in front of them. Like, why are they doing that? And I was like, well, that does sound weird. Like if you're standing up and you're holding a barbell and thrusting it out in front of you really, really quickly, multiple times in a row, almost like you're punching with two hands, right? So you can kind of see where this, I was like, my guess is it probably helps with punching. It probably helps with holding your arms up, because it's like your shoulders really have to hold up the whole time. And I told him how, because Camila, my daughter, does ballet folklorico, and they have those big dresses, and she has to hold them up the whole time. And no, the dress isn't heavy, but just holding your arms up with a little bit of weight for like an entire 3-minute song, it actually, like, your shoulders are burning. I was like, so it's probably for that. And so then when I was there last night, he was like, that's what it is, what they're doing. And the smaller kids had like a 25-pound, almost like a curl bar. And then the teenager kids were using a 45-pound, like Olympic bar. And they were just like, like thrusting it out in front of them. And so he's like, I really want to try it. I was like, get in the line and go try it. And so he did it, and he felt so cool. And then he was saying this morning, he was like, Mommy, how do I tell the kids at basketball that I was able to do that with a 25-pound barbell? Like, what if they come back and be like, well, I've done that with a 45. Like, what would I say if they're like, I've done that with a 45-pound? I was like, I don't think they're going to say that. But apparently the kids there, he's really frustrated with them because they're all really showy offy. They're like, I could do 4v1 and beat everybody, like 4v1.
Kids are so annoying.
So I try to tell, I was like, dude, kids are annoying. Like,
I remember when I took Caleb for his birthday party, we let him choose like one kid to go with him to the trampoline park. And their conversation was hilarious because the kid was like, that's what he was doing. He was just like showing off about all the different things he had and all the things. And Caleb was just like, not like that at all. He was just like, okay. Like, not show offy at all. He's just like, I just want to have a good time. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, he's so sweet.
That's so funny. Yeah, kids are, so I told him. I was like, kids are annoying. Kids always want, and Joaquin's a little bit like that. He like, but he's also psychologically aware, like socially aware. He doesn't want to come off that way. So he also was asking me in the car, like, how do I say it in a way that doesn't sound like I want to talk about it? I want to talk about that I'm sore and like I did this cool thing, but how do I do it without being like,
I'm showing off.
I did this thing with 25 pounds. Yeah, like it's showing off. So we're talking about that. It's just interesting. So yeah, that's my story of how elite I am.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, this is like a fun thought experiment. Pretend you entered a bakery, right? And they're selling donuts. And for this obviously would never really happen, just the thought experiment. But for every donut that you eat, you'll get $100,000, but you will automatically gain 10 pounds. How many donuts would you eat?
That is interesting.
Yeah.
You get $100,000.
$100,000. But you gain 10
pounds.
Yes.
Is it 10 pounds of muscle?
No, 10 pounds.
Is it 10 pounds of pure fat?
I would assume that majority of it is fat.
Okay.
Because
I think, oh my God, if I have $100,000 times 10 is $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I eat 10 donuts, I would gain 100 pounds.
Yes.
It would probably take me a year to lose 100 pounds. But the problem is I have a bunch of excess skin. I'm trying to think what's the amount that I could gain and then lose, but not have after effects.
Yeah.
And my frame holding 100 extra pounds would be rough. But I really want to say 10. But I think maybe six or seven.
Okay. That's fair.
Wow. I'm trying to go as high as I can. Isn't that funny? I'm actually trying to go as high as I can because I don't want to gain weight, but I also know how to lose it.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it easier when you know how to lose it. Oh, and there's no like Ozempic. There's no like you have to do
this magical world.
There's no magical world where you could just like, yeah.
Okay, noted. What's your answer?
I was going with 10. I want the $1 million.
Wow.
But yeah, the excess skin would suck really badly.
Yeah, that's the thing is that I'm worried that there would be a lasting effect that I wouldn't be able to reverse.
That's true. Like because, I have loose skin a little bit already. on my stomach from when I was pregnant.
Right.
So if I already have that from just gaining like, I don't know how much weight I gained, like 40 pounds or something.
But it was like almost all in one area versus
Yeah.
if theoretically, if you gained like 100
Yes.
pounds, it would gain
And,
everywhere.
and like the slower you lose it, the longer your skin has to, come back. And I could just take a ton of collagen, you know, a ton
Yeah.
of collagen and vitamin C, and maybe it would be okay. I think because it's like reversible, where I feel like, to me, now this wouldn't be for everyone, but for me, it's a lot easier to lose 100 pounds because I know how to do it than it is for me to, not easier. It would be a lot quicker to lose 100 pounds than it is for me to get $1 million.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's reversible. So I think I would choose 10.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Could I do it? Does it have to be all in one go? Could I eat a donut and then come back in a month and eat another donut?
no.
And like,
It's a
no, I have to do
one-time.
it all in one.
It's a one-time offer.
Dang. Because
That
like
would be
I'd like to go donut by donut and see how
every
high
year.
I can
You're
get.
like, I don't have to work again. I just eat a donut and then I lose 10 pounds and I come
It's
back.
like, can I eat a donut, get the 100,000, invest it, and come back in a year and eat another donut, get another 100,000, invest it? That's what I would do because then I'd lose the 10.
Yeah. See, that's what I was thinking too, because I was like, with $1 million, I know how to invest it. I would never have to work again,
That's so funny. That's a
And
good question.
I could just spend all of my time worrying about losing this 100 pounds that I gained.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Donovan this question. That's a good one.
I was wondering what you would choose, because we have the knowledge and we know how to do it. It makes
Yep.
it, and we know it's possible.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Do you want to hear some, like, I would say crazy stats? Not really crazy, but kind of crazy stats. I was like, I want to find some. I could have found more, and some of them is hard to verify if these are true or not. Like, so some of them, just know that I hopefully these are all correct, and they sound like they could be.
You're setting us up for next week. You need to correct that's something that I said.
They haven't heard that one yet, because that was supposed to. Oh no, they will have heard that before this comes out. That was the one that was supposed to be released, but you released the wrong one. Sorry. Okay.
I don't even know.
So we have to release it so they hear my corrections.
Right. Of course.
Right.
That's why.
They're so important. All right. So, okay. 90%. I've seen this to like go up to 95%. So this one I'm like, I don't know if it's super correct, but it sounds correct. I can see this being correct. 90% of women can't do one pull up. Pull up.
Oh yeah. What did you say the number? 90%?
90. I've seen 95.
I was going to say, I think it's higher.
95% would sound. It's like, how would you test this really? Like, if you were doing a study, the people in the study might be more fit. So it's really hard to like know. Mm-hmm. But I would feel like that's pretty close to being accurate, considering how overweight the population is.
It's not even that, though, because I know very many women over the years who are very fit and active, and even people who lift, and they've been lifting, and it's just part of what they do, and they can't do a pull-up. And it's not because they're not strong. I think, why do I think?
Yeah.
I have a couple of reasons why I think. One, I think because the mechanics of a pull-up, it's like riding a bike. It's kind of one of those things. Like, once you figure out how it actually feels to retract your shoulders and pull with your back, I think it's like something clicks.
Yeah.
Because that happened to me. I was strong enough and I would just hang from the bar. And then once it clicked, I did 3 in a row. So it was like, it just was a clicking thing. But I also think a lot of people, even though they lift, I don't think people are actually training their back as well as they can. I think there's a couple reasons. I think one, because people don't, your biceps take over things so easily. I would say that's one of the main things. Even if you do a squat wrong, you're still training your quads. Like, even if you do a bench press wrong, you're still training your chest. But if you do a row wrong, you can literally hardly touch your back muscles.
Yeah.
You can use almost all biceps and like a little bit of like traps and get the thing up there. And I see a lot of people doing that, like people who lift and they're just kind of like using a lot of other muscles. So I think to activate the right muscles in your back, you really have to be intentional in a way that I think a lot of people in that zone where they're lifting, they haven't really cross that bridge that I talk about into like the second stage of lifting. I think they haven't really trained those back muscles, and so they don't really know how to activate them, and they're not strong enough to get them up on the bar.
That
Those are
makes
my
sense.
theories. Yeah, those are my
Yeah,
theories just
I
based on
definitely, I
observation.
think, I definitely think mechanics has something to do with it, because if you ever like tried to pull up just straight up, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't, no matter how strong you are, you're stuck in that one spot. Whereas if you bring your chest to the bar
Exactly.
instead and
Yeah.
focus on that, it's a little bit easier.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't like, because when I first started lifting, I know I could do I know I could do a couple. I don't know about pull-ups. I know I could do at least one, but I definitely could do a couple chin-ups like right away. It didn't take me very long.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that was me too. I remember being in my little house in Maryland, our first little townhome, and we had a pull-up bar, and I just have this vivid memory of my sister being over and being like, "Oh, you have a pull-up bar. Can you do pull-ups?" And I was like, "No." There's like, "You can't?" I was like, "Well, I've never tried, but I don't think so." Like
yeah.
I know what a pull-up looks like, and I know that that's not something I can do. And she was like, "Well, try it." And I just did 3. And I remember being like, "What? I can do pull-ups?" That was so
That is
mind-blowing.
exciting. That's
Yeah.
all right. After age 30, this one I think is true. After age 30, people lose about 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade
Yeah.
on
Yep.
average. That's disgusting.
Unless you do something to prevent it.
That's the thing. Like, this is preventable. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean this is your destiny, because if you train, this won't happen to you. But that's what happens generally.
I
Ugh.
had my bone density scan, and I had literally lost 0
Yeah.
bone mineral density. 0.
Yeah.
So it's definitely,
Oh, and it speeds up after age 60, so it's going to be the higher end of that.
yeah, it's like a turd in a toilet bowl. The closer to the middle it gets, the faster it goes.
Okay.
Nothing. No.
Okay.
A chuckle or a Okay, next
Sorry, I was
one.
distracted.
Wah,
All right.
wah, wah.
So sorry. So I seen this 2 different things. So this is 1 in 3. So it says 1 in 3 women over 50 will suffer a fracture due to osteoporosis.
How many? 1 in
1 in 3. Whereas this one says approximately 10 million Americans have osteoporosis, and another 44 million have low bone density, placing them at an increased risk, blah, blah. This means that half of all adults age 50 and older are at risk of breaking a bone.
Yeah.
And this says 1 in 2 women and up to 1 in 4 men over age 50 will break a bone due to osteoporosis.
Yep.
And then it says the prevalence of low bone mass among adults age 50 and over was 43.1% in 2017 to 18. So it's got to be higher now, with a higher prevalence among women, 51.5%. So over 50% of women have it. That's insane.
Yeah.
And also preventable, and also going to get worse now that everyone's going to be on Ozempic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's going to make this problem way worse.
Yeah. You know what's hard too, just and I know that there's probably somebody listening that can identify, is that once you've already started to suffer with that and then you realize strength training feels like an uphill climb because you get injured more often if you're not really careful. And so it makes it feel like this is the thing I need to do to help stop and reverse this. Yet my body, it's like a very gentle balance.
You have to go really slow.
You do.
Yeah.
And I have a client who is in this position, but she also she probably has Ehlers-Danlos, which is like a hypermobile situation. So her joints and ligaments and tendons all are really, really loose. And so that plus like low bone density. And she has to be it's like strength training that is the thing that's going to help both of those things, like building muscle and building strength. But going about it, she's constantly having like little injuries.
Yeah.
And it becomes very challenging.
I think having both of those is definitely more of the problem. I think with regular people, you have to be careful, but I mean, do you think strength training you're going to break a bone?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Like maybe if you twist something wrong, you do something improperly, but that I feel like would more be a problem with like higher impact things. I think
Mm-hmm.
cardio would be worse. Like stuff like
Yeah.
that would actually be worse
Well, that's
than
another
strength
thing is
training.
that impact, I like jump training is actually really good
It's good for it. Yeah.
for, yeah, improving your bone mineral density. But jump
Hmm.
training is a thing a lot of people with like kind of like weak bones, you usually also have, low muscle tone, and you also probably also have some joint pain and stuff like that. So jump training is not what you want to do.
Not to
But
start.
no, but you can start off really small with almost like hops that look a little ridiculous, but it does actually, like just the little bit of
Yeah.
impact through your heel does have
Yeah.
an impact,
Just
just
like
a
stressing
positive
those
one.
bones out and
Mm-hmm.
causing them to have to, yeah, get
Mm-hmm.
stronger, just like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, up to 91% of women are unhappy with their bodies.
Yeah. Is there an age range on there?
No, it just says that.
Yeah.
That's
That's really
crazy.
sad.
That's
It's
really
sad
sad.
too because something I think about is that whole reflection thing. So like I can sit here now at 40 and look back at my body in my 20s and be like, "Oh, why did I think I was fat? I looked so good." And
Yeah.
then myself in my 20s can look back at myself in my teens and say the same thing. And I'm
Hmm.
aware of that now, and I don't want to continue to do that. So I work really hard consciously to enjoy where my body is now because I know when I'm 50, I'm going to look back and be like, "Oh." So I never want to speak bad about my body or not appreciate it. And I actually think that's a lot of women tend to start to have more of appreciation for themselves when you're in your 30s and 40s and maybe even 50s, but there's still a very high percentage of people that are like constantly picking themselves apart.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you not see that you do this every decade? You can look like, when does it stop? And by the time we're 90, you're not going to give a flying F anymore. You're not going to be like, "Oh, my 80-year-old
No.
old body was so hot." Like, when are we just going to stop and like appreciate it?
Not only that, I always come back to like, why does it matter? Like, if you're
Uh-huh.
healthy, like the goal should be health, right? The goal
Mm-hmm.
should be health in that, like, if you can, like, I can run and jump and I'm very strong and I could do all these things that I should be like happy about that my body can do these things, especially
Absolutely.
because a lot of people my age, even I'm not even that old, but they already still can't do those things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that is what we should focus on, is like all the things your body can do. And who cares, like, really, like, why does it matter? Why?
Yeah.
And if you focus on health, your body is going to look better anyway,
Right.
but it's like a byproduct of that. But like, why is our value in what our body looks like?
So why is it so high?
Why is it so high?
I was
Why do
thinking
we
about
care
that
that?
too at boxing because I was holding my own so well and I felt so good. And I thought in my head, like, man, it's so funny because like if you just took a picture of me now, like in a bathing suit, and a picture of me when I was like 21 in a bathing suit, like I'm so much more fit now, even if maybe I looked more fit then just because I was
Yeah.
leaner.
Yeah.
But God, my fitness is way higher.
Yeah.
I was
I
talking to somebody yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I was talking to somebody who was telling me about their struggles with. They already train. They strength train. It's a woman in her 40s. She strength trains. She's very regular with her programming. She knows what she's doing. She feels good about it. She does her cardio. She rides her bike, and she's very active. And from looking at her on the screen, like she's very average looking / fit looking. Like she looks like a
yeah.
fit woman. Um, and but she was talking about how her struggle is really nutrition, and she was just talking about how much of a struggle it is to get back on track or manage her calories, and like she just is constantly in this cycle of blah, 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 and it's years and years that it's been like a struggle, and she just doesn't know how to get a handle on it. So after she was done like telling me all that, I was like, but let me ask you this: why? Like, why is nutrition such a struggle? There must be something specific you're working towards, that's some goal that you don't have a handle on nutrition and it's in the way. Is it fat loss? Because that's, most people are like, I'm trying to lose fat and my nutrition is such a struggle. And she was like, I guess. And she didn't even really have an answer. She was like, I'm actually pretty happy with my body. Like, I feel like I look pretty good. Like, yeah, I don't even really pay attention to the scale anymore. It kind of goes up and down the same 3 pounds like over the years. And I guess if I had to pick something, the lower belly, like I would, it would be nice to have that gone. But I feel like I look healthy, I look fit, and it's really not that important to me. I was like, then why? Like, it's literally like we've been trained to think there's something wrong and we have to constantly be killing ourselves about it.
Yeah. And to be smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah. And she wasn't
Why?
even that concerned. I was like, do you eat protein at every meal? Yeah. Produce? Yeah. I meal prep and everything. It's just when a cookie walks by, I have to have it. So fucking have it.
Eat
Like,
the cookie.
and she does. And that's what she beats herself up about. And it's like,
Who
wow.
cares?
Like, we're literally just trained and we don't even know why. You stop and question why? And the reason is because we've been just conditioned to think this way and feel this way.
And the problem is that there are certain people who will eat 10 cookies. And so because of that, now we know cookies, maybe not the best choice. So we say no cookies, when in reality, it's okay. You can have a cookie, just don't eat 10 cookies.
Also, every day would be okay.
Yeah, you could have a cookie every day.
My husband would say he worked with this guy in his last job just a couple months ago, where he would say, he'd come home, he's like, I'm not lying to you, Jamie. This guy's lunch, he will have like 5 giant, like white chocolate macadamia nut cookies and a Coke. That's a full-grown man's lunch. And it just makes me want to barf. Can you imagine?
No. When I was in middle school, speaking of basketball camp, when I was in middle school, I don't know why I did this, because I'm normal. Even back then, I was always like health, right?
I was always been.
I was always about health, right? But I loved food. And my brother would take me to basketball camp, and my mom would give me money to go get food for lunch. And so he would bring me to Storts. Storts is
Storts?
Storts.
Sorry. Bring me to Storts.
I said that funny. Storts. It's like our it's a big chain around here.
Never even heard of it.
They make like really good ice cream. It's known for its ice cream. But it's kind of like a gas, some of them are gas stations and like a little convenience store, right? So he would drop me off there, and I would just be in there by myself, wandering around, picking my food out. And I picked just garbage, right? Total garbage. And then I would go to basketball camp, and everyone would just be staring at me like, what are you eating? Like, in the woman who was like like running the camp, or like my coach, she was actually my basketball coach too, was like laughing hysterically, like, that's what you're eating for lunch. And then later, and then at the end of the camp, they all gave us nicknames, right? They gave and it was mostly about basketball. But when mine came up, it was Twinkie. That was my nickname.
That surprises me. I thought you were giggling because you were going to be like, yeah, I'm wandering around and I'm picking out like the grapes and the hard-boiled eggs and the...
Nope. I mean, I was really young. I was probably like, not really young. I was probably like 12. But I was left alone in this convenience store to just pick whatever the hell I wanted, and nobody was watching me. And normally I was like, which is funny because even at that age, like I said, but not always. Like, I would go to my dad's house, and like his house had a lot more junk food, right? And that could be it too. It was just like, there's not really a lot of junk food at my house. I'm going to take advantage of this right now because I don't normally get this crap, right? So when I would go to my dad's house, I would make like a sundae like every time, and it was this big ass sundae with ice cream and like caramel and like sprinkles and cherries and bananas, all the things. And it was probably like 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
Not really, but it was probably a lot.
That's
I
funny.
loved food, and I wasn't fat.
Yeah.
You know, because I was running around. I burned that all off in basketball.
I thought you were going to say, because my daughter... Oh, she'll down some hot Cheetos. Like, she can definitely, there's some things that she like will just eat and eat and eat. But like when we stop on a road trip, when we're going to El Paso, we have this Walmart, we stop in the middle and we go in and get lunch, and it's kind of a free for all. Like, hey, if you're going to eat, that's my priority. And my son will get like, he wants chips, he wants a Lunchable. Like, we don't usually eat that stuff, but I let him get it because we're in the car. And she wants cheese and grapes and fruits. And is there a veggie tray that I can get? Like, it's hard to get her to eat protein because she'll eat salami. She wants olives. Can I get a jar of olives? And I'm like, oh my God, we're in a car. Could you just get a Lunchable? No, I don't want that. That's not food. I need real food. Yeah. And it's just so funny because I'm like, and I think if she was left alone, she was in that same situation. Yeah. Like, she would literally pick out those things.
That's funny.
She'd come back with the hard-boiled eggs and a cheese stick and like a yogurt. She'd get a yogurt and for her protein, because she'll always be like, if I need a protein, I'll get yogurt.
No one taught me. No one taught. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
have you as a mom. Like, no one taught me
You
what
should have.
nutrition.
I'm so sorry, Laura. I should have been
Sorry,
your mom.
like, I would have ate all the protein. But yeah, no, so funny to think about. But that's how much I freaking love food, dude. Like, I'm telling you, food.
That's so funny.
What
Last
were we
night
talking
I
about?
felt like I said to my husband, I feel like a trash can, and he was like, "Baby, no, you're not," because I didn't mean it. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm not calling myself trash. I bottomless pit. That's what I'm looking for." It's like I feel like a trash can. I feel like a bottomless pit. I couldn't stop eating. I was like, I just want to eat like 2 servings of dinner.
Yeah, I feel good now that I've been eating more food.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Muscles are more predictive of longevity than BMI. People with muscle mass statistically live longer even if they are overweight according to BMI standards.
Yep.
Yeah. But
This I know.
we are so fixated on fat loss, weight
Yes,
loss,
we
fat loss,
are.
weight
I
loss.
literally will tell people, especially women who are older, that are so hyper focused on losing weight. I'm like, I would literally rather have you 30 pounds heavier, but able to get off the toilet on your own when you're 80, than help you lose that 30 pounds and maintain it, but you become this frail, breakable person that can't get off the toilet when you're 80 by yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I still feel like the Ozempic thing or weight loss drugs thing that's how I feel about it. It's like for certain people, yes, but for everybody, no. It's just I don't think like when you look at like, is this going to make us healthier in the long run? I don't know if it's going to be a net positive.
If every Ozempic prescription, I don't even think it's prescribed at this point, but if every Ozempic
it's
prescription
supposed to be, but you can get it not prescribed. Yeah.
Came with like a personal trainer and a nutrition coach, or hey, maybe one that does both, then it could be, because you can. It's not like you can't lose weight and have these things. It's just that people, the large majority of people don't do it that way. They just take it and lose a bunch of weight, and then it's like, oh crap, I should build muscle now.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
That's
got
all
any
I got.
more? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a study recently.
Okay.
That was literally on app-based coaching for fat loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like not even coaching, just using an app. You know, there's so many apps now. Here's what your macros are. Here's a training plan. I use the Heavy app. I use the, Macros Inc. gives me my calories. So app-based weight loss versus app-based plus human coaching weight loss. Did you see it?
Maybe.
Okay. I thought that was cool. So I was like, yes, I want to see the results of this.
Yeah.
Clearly, what I already would have guessed is that the app plus human coaching resulted in a lot more fat loss. And they checked in with them. So I think it was mostly controlled in the first phase, like the first 3 months. But then they checked back with them at 6 months and at 12 months. But they still had the app or the app-based coaching. It just wasn't as like controlled, but they still had access to those, app plus human. And even up to 12 months, there was still a greater amount of fat loss long-term with the app plus human.
Like, it's like, duh, right?
Duh, right? So my question to you, Laura, is why? Why is that the case?
Well, an app isn't a psychiatrist the way the way we can be, or psychologist more than psychiatrist that we can be. No, but like the accountability piece, having that person who understands, who's like more empathetic than a bot could be, because they don't understand. Like they're not a person. They don't have empathy the same way. So having that person there is going to be so much different than you just following what this robot is telling you to do.
Yeah. And there's a couple things, because a lot of people still kind of subconsciously think it's about the knowledge. And sure, that's a huge piece of it. You have to be knowledgeable in order to coach people.
Yes, because some people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. But the knowledge is kind of a small percentage compared to everything else, because especially when we're talking about AI and ChatGPT and all of these things, the knowledge is almost so much that a lot of the knowledge is sometimes wrong. And then we start to wonder, wait, right? But a lot of what you said about The spitting out numbers thing will only tell you the science of what you can follow, but it doesn't tell you what to do if you're feeling this certain way,
Yeah.
or what to do if you go on vacation, or just like you said, the accountability and the human connection piece. If somebody hold it's kind of like when you show up, if you were going to go to a class, so you go to like whatever Orange Theory or your boot camp class, a lot of the times you go because there's a bunch of people there, and even if they're not telling you directly, hey, I'm waiting for you to come, like you need to show up, there's that underlying feeling of like these people know that I come and they're kind of expecting me, and they'll notice if I'm not there, and that is enough to get people out the door. What if nobody else was in that class? What if there was 0 people in that class and it was just like a screen and everybody was following a workout on a screen?
Yeah.
You're probably going to drop off of that class within maybe 1 or 2. You know what I mean? You're going to find all these other reasons why it doesn't make sense to go. It's the people that keep you coming. And
Definitely.
we know that, right? But that's the same thing with coaching. It's like there's that connection, that human connection and accountability that I want to say you need, but that's extremely helpful.
Yeah, I mean, even in person compared to online, like people I've had in person, they're like, I won't do it on my own online. Like, I need to come here every day and see you every day because otherwise I won't do it.
Yeah. But the problem I've experienced with that is, I want to say at least 75% of all of the clients I've had in person will say that. Will say, like, I'm just the type of person who needs to come in person. I can't do online. And I do respect that. However, the large majority of my in-person clients don't make as much progress as my online clients is if they're only coming to see me like once a week. Because in between that, they're not doing things. They see it as, this is my time to connect with my trainer, and then I'm gone and I don't do the other things. And it's really hard to hold them accountable. So it's like there's a weird balance.
I kind of do like a hybrid approach where I'm doing like both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some I've had really be successful with a hybrid approach. And some will realize that like, oh, online actually works really well, because when they think online, they think app. They think like I have to, but they don't realize there's actually a person behind it. I'm still connecting with you. There's still that element. So a lot of times people don't fully realize like, oh no, you still actually feel really accountable.
I think for certain people, they don't realize how much they actually enjoy it, because they think of working out as like, I'm beating myself up every day and it's like this torture and I'm not going to go unless I go here. But then when they actually start working out the right way, it's like, oh, this isn't that bad. I can do this on my own. So eventually you can transition them to online.
You know that feeling when you're going into like maybe your 6, 12, 20 or whatever that crap you were doing before? When you're going into a workout where you know you are going to be thoroughly destroyed. There's a lot of times, like especially for somebody who's maybe not super fit, they know, and like technically they'll leave and be like, oh, that feels good. But there's so much effort required that it makes it really hard to want to go. But they have in their mind that every workout has to feel that way. You're supposed to be crawling out on your hands and knees, dripping with sweat, can barely walk. That's how workouts. And if they don't feel like that, they're pointless. So a lot of times reframing that person's mind to like, no, it doesn't have to be like, you can go and enjoy it. And yeah, you're working hard, but it doesn't destroy you.
No.
You know?
No, you don't need to feel that way. And you shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
You shouldn't. You
There's
shouldn't.
a time and a place, but
imagine if that's what working out was. Imagine if that's what you had to do forever. Nobody would do it.
Yeah.
No one would continue doing that unless they were like sadistic. Like they like pain. I don't know.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people will say like, oh, you're so much more disciplined than I could never. And it's like, well, I mean, there's a little bit of that. Sure. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm more disciplined than you. Maybe not. But a lot of it is that like, I'm just not as rigid as you think you have to be. I've found this balance that you haven't really discovered that exists yet.
And I think something that people don't think about enough, like we don't mention this enough, is that consistency builds consistency. Yeah. So if you, like, I work out very consistently, but like, let's say something happened where I had some insane injury and I couldn't work out for months or something. Getting back into that routine and that consistency would be really hard. Like if you miss, like if you go on vacation and you come back, that first workout is always really hard to get back into it. being consistent is important so that you stay consistent. Even if you just go in and you just like, I'm just gonna lift some light stuff today and just do this like
Yeah.
really light workout.
Yep. That's kind of how I feel. It's not that I've been injured and out for months, but definitely off enough of my routine that it feels like, where do
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
start?
hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to get back into it.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's more like, well, it's easy to be consistent when you're consistent. If that makes
It's
sense.
hard too because once you really get into a rhythm and a flow,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you really start to enjoy the mini progress markers. You're not sore all the time. You have a spot that it fits in your routine. Your body's used to how it feels. And you subconsciously compare yourself to that version of yourself. So right now, it's like, I know what that feels like. And if I go out there right now and lift up my dumbbells and do a workout, I'm not going to feel that way. I'm going to feel sore, or I'm going to feel not as strong. I'm going to have to use light weight. I'm not going to love it as much. Like, and it just is not, you got to get there. Like, how do I get back there?
Yeah.
I can't just be there. If I miss one workout, I can do the next workout and still be there. But if I
Yeah.
miss a month and I literally have like my body's now readapted to not doing a whole much, my muscles are a little bit adapted. I don't even have my barbell, so I can't even do exercises that I really love. I have
Yeah.
to use these like adjustables. It's just all of it is like just enough friction to make you be like, mother effer.
You could
You
you could do
know,
it though. You
I
could.
know, I'm aware. It's just hard. Suck it
Sometimes
up.
we need to do hard things, Jamie.
And I
That's
do
how you
them.
make changes, okay?
I know.
Like I
And
started writing down notes. That's not something I want to do.
good for you.
You know?
I'm proud of you.
That's why I have stuff now.
Like today, I was given the task of doing jumping Bulgarian split squats and sending a video.
Oh, did you do
And
it?
so, no, because it's later.
Oh, okay.
Later is that's happening.
Okay.
I haven't even been home until just now.
I sent you mine, so
I know, it's
see
coming.
yours.
I think you just want to see if I don't wobble. So I'm going to be the most sturdy and
Oh
stable
I
person
know. I
ever.
just want to see what it because you were like it feels like I just want to see what it looks like when you do it.
What did I say?
When you were saying that you were doing it before, you're like it feels like slow motion, like coming up from the ground up. I want to
It'll
see
be
what
fun
your
to video
hop
it
looks
actually.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be more stable than you. You were wobbly.
I was wobbly. Do you know why I was wobbly? Because I
you're
jumped so
wearing tennis
freaking
shoes.
high
Oh.
that no, those are cross trainers. Because I jumped so
high.
because I jumped so high that like it's like so much harder to control.
Yeah, right.
That
when
that
it's
power,
such an incredibly elite,
it's
high
so much
jump.
harder to control when you have so much power.
Yeah,
compared to like like this little horsepower. It's a lot easier.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
mine
what it
will
is.
be. Yeah. So the stability is going to come from the fact that I'm barely leaving the ground.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, at least I'll be better at something.
But it's funny because the second set I was much less wobbly.
Yeah. I am very. I don't know why I'm having trouble phrasing this because I was going to say I'm very obsessed with the idea that, and I'm not obsessed with it because I've seen people obsessed with this and it's weird. I very much enjoy not wearing shoes. The grounding that I feel, and not just in strength training, in everything. Mm-hmm. And I used to be like, I was a kid when I was a teenager. My best friend and I would walk around our entire neighborhood completely barefoot. And my mom would get so annoyed because she'd go on a family walk. Not a family walk because I wasn't there. She'd go on a walk. She'd walk the dogs with her husband. And she'd find my shoes like under a mailbox on the corner because I will have left the house with my shoes and then ditched them temporarily. I don't know why. I think that's really weird. I want to say it was like what it was like growing up in my time, but it's probably not. It's probably just that we were weird. But I've always just like enjoyed being barefoot. But lately I've been even more, there was something recently, I don't know what it was. There was something recently that made me really think about this, about like, you really need to like take off your shoes because you can't feel how things are supposed to feel. Oh, and then there was a day where we were walking all around somewhere. We were walking everywhere and my family's feet hurt. Like everybody's feet hurt because we were on our feet all day. And I wore flip-flops, like my cheap flip-flops that I've had for, I just wore them. And my feet didn't hurt at all. And I think my husband even asked, he was like, why don't your feet hurt? I was like, because I wore flip-flops. I had complete, like I'm just used to having control of my foot. Everybody else wears shoes that squish their toes in the front and you don't have any like control of any of the muscles in your foot. They're just squished and inactive all day and then your feet hurt. Whenever I wear tennis shoes, when I walk around, I'm like, oh, I'm going to wear these comfortable shoes so that my feet don't hurt. They hurt.
So I like shoes. I don't know if this is
I like shoes.
I don't know if this is like a fibro thing or what, but my feet hurt when I and not like hurt like, oh, they're sore from walking on them all day. Like I like pins and needles hurt a lot.
Oh, interesting.
Um, so and they feel, I don't know how to explain it. They
I think
just
that's a
feel
fibro thing.
off. Yeah. So I like shoes because of that, because I can, but shoes do hurt my feet. And all of them, like my toes are like, and I don't even have very wide feet, but my toes always feel squished because they're so used to being spread out from like weightlifting.
Yeah.
Like they're not like this anymore. So I noticed that when I get new shoes, I always have to break them in because at first they're very uncomfortable and I have to take them off all the time. But eventually they get spread, the shoes get spread out and stretched out and they get more comfortable. Those shoes though, that I was wearing when I was doing those are like the most comfortable shoes I've ever bought. And they have a very wide toe box.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I have the Vivo barefoot
Mm-hmm.
shoes for when I lift with shoes on, and they're extremely thin. I mean, the only thing that's there is like the piece of rubber in between your foot and the ground. And I accidentally didn't pack my like tennis shoes for jogging, because when I do like jog, I do like to have like the cushioned shoes.
Yeah.
And I didn't pack them, and I only have those and flip flops. And I wanted to go for a jog in El Paso with my husband's family. There's this area. That's what I'll do, is I'll jog around the hospital or whatever. So I wanted to go for a jog, but I only had those shoes. And I was like, I can't jog in those though. And I was going to go with my husband, who's not a jogger. So we were just going to do one lap and he was going to walk. So I was like, well, let me just wear them, because then I can always walk, but I can try jogging. It's like a good middle ground. So I wore them, my Vivo barefoots, and I was able to jog around the entire thing. Like no problem. My feet felt fine. And so I said when I got up, I was like, oh man, like I can jog in these actually. I didn't think, but that was kind of cool.
I think they would hurt my feet if I jogged in them.
I don't know if I'd want to go super long, far, but it was like,
especially in like a concrete,
yeah,
or something.
It was on concrete. And even yesterday after boxing, they had us do like multiple laps around the building complex, and I was wearing those shoes, and it was fine, and it surprised me actually. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah. I do think you are correct in that most people should wear shoes all the time. Yeah.
Good chatting, good pod. If you like this, please let us know what you would do in the donut situation.
You're offered donuts, and for every donut that you eat, you will get $100,000, but you will also gain 10 pounds.
Let us know below how many donuts would you eat. All right. See you next time.